Hello, welcome back to Basement Backgammon. In this episode, we're going to be looking at a set of vintage Bakelite checkers that are real Bakelite. So, some of you may know that Bakelite is a term that is a real thing that was used. Leo Bakelin in I think it was 1907, patented the process for making Bakelite. And then the Catalin company came around, I want to say in the teens, and started making something that was very much like Bakelite, but with more colors in a slightly different process. And everything that we call Bakelite, or much of the stuff that we call Bakelite these days, most of it is Catalin, especially in backgammon checkers. The bright colors of the reds and the yellows, the swirls, that's almost always exclusively Catalin. This, however, is a box of genuine, actual Bakelite, not Catalin checkers, made by, see if I can zoom in, the Seacoast Specialty Company at 225 Chapman Street in Providence, Rhode Island. Due to some research that I've done on this, I found out that the Seacoast Specialty Company was incorporated in Providence in November of 1930, and then in April of 1931, they changed their name to, let me look it up for a second, they changed it to the Molding Corporation of America. In April of 31. So these checkers were created somewhere between November 1930 and April of 31, which makes a lot of sense because the backgammon boom started in early 1930 with a lot of fervor, probably in the summer of 1930. So the fact that these would be created somewhere in that range in the winter to the fall to the spring, that is, of 31, makes a lot of sense. And like I said, these are actual backgammon checkers, Bakelite checkers. You can see that they were called genuine Bakelite. Now, I don't know how to pronounce this, whether it's draughts or drafts. I think it might be drafts. But that word is something that is used in England for checkers, the game of checkers. So we call them Bakelite checkers because, and this is a language thing, we call them Bakelite checkers. You ever think why they're called checkers? Because these pieces were used for the game of checkers, these drafts. That's what they call checkers in England. They call them drafts or droughts. I think it's pronounced drafts because the word draft is something like to move. Anyway, I'm guessing here a little bit on the etymology of the term. You can see though that it's listed as 1.5 inch. It's hard to see through the tape, but there it is, 1.5 inch. So even then, back at the beginning, we were measuring our checkers in 1.25, 1.5, 1.75 inches. So let's take a look at these. This is the original box. You can see inside it says genuine Bakelite drafts. And this is what it looks like. Now, being Bakelite, these are very dense plastic. These are definitely plastic. They look like wood, and there were definitely wood checkers made with this same sort of pattern. Look how intricate the carving is on this. This isn't 1 or 2 or 3 circles. There's a bunch of different machining that happened to make this pattern. And these are heavier than you would expect being Bakelite. They're in perfect condition. They come in a sort of, well, you can see the colors here. They're pure black and sort of darker yellow. And it's unknown whether this yellow would have been lighter or darker or even white, given that we know that Bakelite and Catalin tend to oxidize over time and change color. But I imagine it was some sort of yellow that oxidized into a darker shade of yellow, is what I would imagine. But the oxidation process happened evenly on all the checkers, so they're very similar in color. In fact, they're exactly the same in color all throughout, which is something that you don't always see. Sometimes these oxidations happen where some of the checkers are on their side or they're stored. Some of them stored something on top of them so that the air doesn't flow through. So they're lighter on one side and darker on another. And these are just perfect throughout. So these are great. There's not much else to say here other than if you felt them, they're heavier than you'd expect them to be, given the density of the plastic. They make a very nice, pleasing sound. When they're clacked together. And this is a really nice pickup. I really enjoy this. This is the oldest set, I'm sure the oldest set of checkers that I have, most likely. And just to be in such perfect shape is a joy to see them. So these will have a place of honor in some board, some 1.5-inch board that needs checkers like this. I'll try to find an old, maybe old 1.5-inch Arthur Popper might be a good place for this. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to place these, but it's nice to see them in the original box from the Seco Specialty Company. It's an interesting idea, though, that Seco, I did some other research on this, also was a famous maker of radio tubes all through the 20s. And I'm not sure if the Seco Specialty Company that made these is related to the Seco Radio Tube Company, which is also based in Providence. It is possible that they decided to expand out their wares, and as radio tubes were becoming, I guess, less and less popular, or maybe just they wanted to capitalize on being able to mold plastic and make those products. Did they open up a separate factory in Providence, or is it happen to be the same name? I would imagine they're probably related, given that they're both in Providence. So the Seco Radio Tube Company and the Seco Specialty Company, likely related. I have not yet done enough research to figure that out, whether or not they're definitely related, but they're both out of Providence, Rhode Island. And it's interesting that Providence is such an important manufacturing hub and an important place for the backgammon community, given that Chris Lloyd moved there in the 70s and became the largest American manufacturer of backgammon boards. So backgammon in Providence, Rhode Island has quite the history of manufacturing, dating as far back as 1930, from what we can tell. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon. Like and subscribe for more videos, and you'll get notified the minute I upload them. Thanks very much.